So I began playing Cyberpunk 2077 in September, I believe, just a couple weeks before they released their 2.0 update, which I didn't even know was coming at the time. During the streams, people kept asking when that update would be coming, and it was finally released around the end of September. And that update changed everything. It changed so many things within the game. I believe a bunch of new things were added as well. I don't know the whole amount of what was changed, but I'm looking through it right now, and one thing that was not mentioned in any of the updates is anything about skill check scaling. So what is skill check scaling? Well, a skill check is when you require a certain skill level in order to do a particular action. For example, when you come across those doors that require a certain strength level in order for you to force open, or a different door that requires a certain technical level in order to open. In dialogue, it would often be things like a cool check. And skill check scaling means that as you level up, those skill checks scale with your level. Now, to my knowledge, according to what other people have said about the game and what I've heard, and definitely how it seems, is the game kind of scales in difficulty as you level up. So the higher your level, the stronger the enemies become, which kind of makes sense. This results in more challenging gameplay as well as higher tier gear upon defeating those stronger enemies. But when you scale the skill checks, the game becomes exponentially more difficult and tries to pigeonhole you into one particular way of playing. So I believe one of the changes they made as well is that you can reset your perk points at any time to redistribute them into different things, but your skills can only be reset once per playthrough, I believe. Skill check scaling is a huge problem because in my particular case, with the mission Don't Lose Your Mind, where you go to Delamain to help rid the virus in the system or whatever, in order to complete that mission, you have to make one of three choices. Johnny will come in and tell you, don't do this one. Delamain is telling you to do that one, but there's a third option that requires a skill check for intelligence. When I first went there for that mission, I went through the whole thing, got to the very end, and I went to make the choice, and to make that third special option, I needed a intelligence level of 15 at the time. But at the time, it was only at level 11. So I decided, okay, I'm not going to do this mission at all then. I'll just come back when I have leveled up 4 more times and got my intelligence up to 15. So that's what I did. I leveled up 4 times. I put all those points into intelligence only, nothing else. I went back to that mission, Don't Lose Your Mind. I went through the whole thing again, because I went back to a previous save before, so I restarted the entire mission, went through the whole thing, got to the end, and suddenly the skill check required a level of 17 intelligence. I thought I was going nuts. I've never seen this in a game before. I thought I was going nuts. I didn't even look through on stream this time, but I made a big stink about it, thinking that it was 15. So I remember this very clearly, complaining about this on stream and thinking that I was going completely out of my mind. I did a quick save right outside the final room there because once you go past there, it locks you in and you're unable to quick save. So I quick saved right outside it. I got all upset and decided to come back again a third time when I had gotten my skill up to 17. So fine, I leveled up 2 more times. I put those skill points into intelligence and nothing else. And I only leveled up twice. So if I was at 15 and I leveled up twice and I put both those points into intelligence, that makes the skill level 17. I did no other levels between then and going back. I go back again and the requirement had increased again to 18. And once again, I was pissed, and I was even more pissed off because this is something that's never been seen in a game. I've never seen this in a game before, where a skill check like this, in a game like this, like Fallout doesn't do this. I don't know if Skyrim even has skill checks for things like that, but I know that Fallout doesn't do this, or at least I've never seen that in there. And honestly, I think it's a really terrible feature to add to a game. Because like I said, it now forces you into grinding more than what you actually have to, especially since I leveled up the exact amount of times to get that skill to the exact level that it needs to be, no more, no less, and I go back and the requirement has now increased. You're screwed unless you want to level up many more times just to get those skill points required for that. I think it's ridiculous. So the game now forces you to focus in one specific particular area if that's the route you want to go down at all. I don't think it should be that way. No game should be that way. I should be able to play the game how I want to play the game, level up how I want to level up, and if I have a particular goal, like for Don't Lose Your Mind, to get that third option there, I should be able to grind enough to get the skill requirement that it says I need to then obtain that. I shouldn't have to level up more times, wasting more time, grinding more, redoing that mission over and over and over again. I actually just had to go through the area again because I quick saved. I learned from the first time having to repeat it, but it really shouldn't be that way. And this honestly pushed me to the edge of cheating in the game. Okay, I downloaded the console commands mod so that I could increase my level whenever I want. Sorry, but it is what it is. Now, I won't spend too much time on this because this isn't the focus of the video, but my stance on cheating in games is if it's multiplayer and you're ruining someone else's experience or other people's experience or getting an unfair edge over other players, that's not fair. Don't do it. That's crap. And I find that absolutely wrong. If you're cheating in a single player game, honestly, I don't really care. It doesn't really matter to me. And I've done it many times. Usually I do it only once I've completed the game and now I want some extra fun out of the game with cheats and mods and whatnot, or if I become stuck. For example, using no clip in a game where you like fall through the floor or something like that and die, or lose your stuff unfairly. I don't find that to be very fair of the game, and it shouldn't have happened in the game, so why should I just let it happen, right? It's not part of normal gameplay, so of course I'm going to use no clip to go down and get my crap. And in a case like this where the game is going to unfairly scale the skill checks, then I'm sorry, but I feel I see no reason for that to be a thing. I don't think that that's a fair feature to add to the game, especially when it tells me the goal that I have to reach. I reach that goal and now it's no longer enough. It's quite literally moving the goalposts. So yes, honestly, I've decided to cheat with the game now because of that, and I will continue to do so as long as they keep this feature included in the game. Now, I discovered this on the most recent stream on Tuesday, the 17th of October. Later that evening, I looked and I wanted to know what the heck was going on. I found this article on Screen Rant, and they talk about this as well, how it's unfair and how it pigeonholes you, forces you to make a certain build and play a certain way, more so than you would otherwise. They do talk about how it could kind of fit into the story of the game, making it something like the relic causing problems with him or whatever. But even then, it doesn't really make sense since that logic doesn't really carry over to other areas. And what they say here is, in some cases, this can result in players entirely maxing out a particular skill just to start a mission or even an entire quest line. That's not right. That's not a game. That is, it might as well be a walking simulator at this point, if that's the way that that's going to have to go, right? They say it could completely change how players approach the game and could force them into building their character a certain way to achieve their preferred outcomes or access entire quest lines. And for me personally, unfortunately, this change kind of kills the game. It kills the experience of like grinding to level up. I freaking love games that have skill trees that are, you know, good and whatnot. Of course, it's not just if it's a skill tree I automatically love it, but I really love games that give upgrades, that give skill trees, that give things in that regard to work towards increasing and upgrading and getting better and better over time, unlocking skills over time and whatnot like that. I love that kind of thing. It's so good. It makes the game so much more fun to me. It makes it feel like the longer I play, the more I actually get out of the game, that there's something to work towards. And now with this kind of feature, it's almost like they give a giant middle finger to all of that, because now it doesn't matter. And because it's kind of forced me to decide, I have decided it. They're not holding a gun to my head telling me that I need to cheat now to do this. But I feel like in order for me to get enjoyment out of playing the game, for playing the game, I do need to cheat in order to do this. And I don't think that that's very fair. I'm still going to try and use the cheats fairly and not just cheat to level up a skill whenever the hell I feel like it, but rather only if I like absolutely have no other choice. In my own opinion, I don't mean like if there's a door that I can't go through, because usually there's a window you can climb through or some other way you can get in that doesn't require you to have a high strength level to get blah blah blah. There is another area of the game that I found out while playing on Tuesday as well. It's just one of the gigs, and it's over by the area where you wait for Jablonski. I think it's only a side or optional part of the gig, but there is a particular person you're supposed to find or find information on them or whatever, and their room number is like 103 in the apartment. But to get in there, you need a strength skill check of 20. Mine is 10. Now imagine with the skill scaling thing, if I level up 10 more times, it's going to now require like a strength level of 26. So I'm absolutely not going to do that. That's ridiculous. I shouldn't be entirely locked out of doing that one optional thing just because I choose to level up a couple other skills, like even once or twice. Like, the beauty of these kinds of games that have different skill areas and whatnot is that you should be able to play the way you want to play. And if you want to spread your skills across everything and be a jack of all trades, you should be able to do that without necessarily impacting everything in the story. And it should still be entirely my decision if I want to wait and come back to this particular quest once I've leveled up enough to get a particular skill to where it tells me it needs to be. But these constant moving of the goalposts is not good. It doesn't work in logic. It doesn't work anywhere. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because it's something that really pisses me off with this game. Like, I'm really into this game. I really like playing it. It's fun to play. It has its flaws. I will complain, or not complain, but I will point out its flaws sometimes because most of the time it's pretty funny or interesting. It makes it an interesting experience, but I don't hate the game. I love playing the game. It's really fun. I played a bit off stream, and I'm kind of like holding myself back not playing it so much off stream because I want to showcase it on stream. I enjoy playing the game. So me complaining about this is because I am passionate about the game and because I do like it. And I want to see improvement in it, not disprovement? The opposite of whatever improvement would be. I feel like this is a nerf to the game and a nerf to your time spent playing it. I really don't know what they were thinking with this feature, but CD Projekt Red, y'all need to fix this. Y'all need to remove that skill scaling crap, or just remove the skill cap entirely, or bring back the infinite ability to respec your character, even the skill levels entirely themselves, not just the perk points, as many times as you want in a playthrough. Although honestly, I really think that that's a pretty ridiculous way to go about changing this or fixing this or solving this. You can't really salvage this. The Screen Rant article even said, like, just put an option in there to disable or enable this thing if you want. But honestly, I think it's just a ridiculous thing that ruins the experience of the game entirely. There is no reason to have this feature at all. It doesn't help anything. It doesn't make anything better or good. It makes everything worse. Please remove it. Make Cyberpunk 2077 great again. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And yeah, I might stream more Cyberpunk 2077 later tonight or today. So if you'd like to see that, hit subscribe down below and turn on the notifications. Hopefully YouTube sends out a notification for that. And it'd be great to see you there. Have a good one. Bye-bye. God bless. Keep calm, Dragon.